Now, in order to factor this greatest common factor out of the expressions, you have to determine the greatest common factor of the coefficients, divide each term by the greatest common factor, and then rewrite the greatest common factor in front of the parentheses, filling in whatever is remaining inside the parentheses. So for example, for 40 and 16, we're first going to find the factors of each coefficient. So if I first have 40, and I want to list all my common factors of 40, I'm going to start with 1. So 40 divided by 1 is 40. So I could have 1 and 40. 40 divided by 2 is 20. So I have 2 and 20. 40 divided by 3 is a decimal, so it's not included. 40 divided by 4 is 10. 40 divided by 5 is 8. 40 divided by 6 is a decimal, so it's not included. 40 divided by 7 is a decimal, so it's not included. And the next biggest number would be 8, but since 8 is already included, that means we're done with finding the factors. Now the next possible number we have to deal with is our other number, which is 16. So if I'm listing 16, I'm first going to start with 1. So 16 divided by 1 gives me 16. 16 divided by 2 is 8. 16 divided by 3 is a decimal, so it's not included. 16 divided by 4 gives us 4. So we have 4 and 4. Now the next possibility would be 5. However, this 5 is bigger than this 4, which means we're done. So if I want to find all the common factors, both of these numbers have a 1, a 2, a 4, and they both have an 8. However, the greatest of these factors would be the 8. Now, in order to factor this out of the expression, I'm first going to rewrite my original expression. So if I have 40x minus 16, and then you are going to divide by this GCF. So I would divide both of these terms by 8, and then whatever you're divided by is put in front of our new set of parentheses because it's factored out of the expression. So if I simplify this, 40 divided by 8 gives me 5. So I'm left with 5x, and 16 divided by 8 is 2. So I bring down the minus, and 16 divided by 8 is 2. So you're left with 8 times 5x minus 2. In our last example, we have to find first the factors of all three terms. So I first have to list my factors of 6. So if I start with 6, I have 6 divided by 1, which is 6. 6 divided by 2, which is 3. And since my next possible number would be 3, which is already included, we don't have to go any further. The next number we have to deal with is 27. So if I list my factors of 27, I have 27 divided by 1, which is 27. 27 divided by 2, which is a decimal, so it's not included. 27 divided by 3, which gives us 9. So I have 3 and 9. 27 divided by 4, which is a decimal, so it's not included. 27 divided by 5, which is a decimal, so it's not included. 27 divided by 6 is the decimal, so it's not included. 27 divided by 7 is a decimal, so it's not included. 27 divided by 8 is a decimal, so it's not included. And 27 divided by 9 would be our next possibility. However, since the 9 is already included, that means we're done. My last number I have to deal with is the 3. So if I list my factors of 3, I can start with 3 divided by 1 gives us 3. So I have 1 and 3. 3 divided by 2 gives me a decimal, so it's not included. And then my next possibility would be 3, which is already included, so I have all my factors listed. Now, if we want to identify the common factors, each of these numbers has a 1, and they also each have a 3. However, we want to pick out the greatest common factor of all 3. And the biggest number that is in all of these expressions is the 3. Which means that our GCF, or the greatest common factor, is equal to 3. So now, if I take my original expression of the 6x squared plus 27x plus 3 and rewrite it below, I'm now going to divide all of my terms by this greatest common factor. And then that greatest common factor is stuck in front of the parentheses. So if I do 6 divided by 3, gives me 2x squared. 27 divided by 3 is 9, so it's plus 9x. And 3 divided by 3 is 1. So your answer is 3 times 2x squared plus 9x plus 1.